Hello. Instead of writing up this book review, I thought I'd videotape it and post it that way. Something different, something new for here at the Great Separation. The book that I'm reviewing is Wrestling with Angels by Carolyn Arends. Adventures in Faith and Doubt is the subtitle. I received this book to review from the Active Christian Media site, and I gotta tell you, I really enjoyed this book. For one thing, I love Carolyn Arends. I love her music. If you don't know, she's a Christian artist, has been for quite some time, has a pretty big library of Christian music, and so when I saw this book up for review, I said I have to read that book. I didn't even know she had written one. But this book to me was very encouraging in my Christian walk because of the doubts that she's faced in hers and her openness and desire to share what she's learned along the way, and the fact that she's still learning, that being a Christian is full of mystery as well as answers. And quite often it's those mysteries of who God is that propels us into seeking out to know more about Him. And I think it's one of the things I took away from this book. It was published originally in 2000, in the year 2000, and republished here in 2008 with a new foreword from her. So I thought that was pretty interesting to see how just in 8 years, I mean, it's been 8 years, but it's a bit of a timeless sort of book, I think. The writing is just spot on good. It's very, well, you can tell she's a singer and an artist. The writing is very, almost poetic in some ways. It has a great flow to it that just keeps me wanting to read more as I was going through each chapter. And let me read to you just a little whet your taste buds here for some of her writing. It's from the chapter Dreams of Kings and Carpenters, the Incarnation. Of all the paradoxes in the New Testament, there is one more impossible than all the others. And the contradiction is not in something Jesus says, but in what He is. Fully God and fully man together. A crazy and ultimately violent collision of human and holy, somehow contained in ordinary flesh and bone. It is the mystery of mysteries, and it starts with, of all things, a baby. And that's just a very good example of her writing style, I think, and some of the things that she talks about. Some of the chapter titles. Oh, by the way, it's from Harvest House. So, let's see. You got your Prelude, The Summers of My Discontent, Landmarks, and Ebenezer's. I love that word Ebenezer. And obviously she used it well in her chapter. Problem and Paradox, and Living the Questions, Belief and Unbelief, Questions and Answers would be the areas in that chapter. It was a very good book. I highly recommend it. Definitely well worth a read, particularly if you're struggling as a Christian. Now, I think one of the most interesting things about her life is, and she would say, it was pretty uneventful. I mean, her life so far hasn't been a life of dramatic sort of things, but just the everyday Christian. And I think that's one of the things that I found, for me, very engaging and very it tracked very well with my own life. So I thought, well, I should read that, and she dealt with similar questions that I've dealt with, and it was neat to see how she found Christ in those situations, and found his power and his love to be a barrier breaker. So, very good book. Highly recommend it. Wrestling with Angels.